I came to Britain on an industrial scholarship to the firm of Fielding and Platt, which was my fantastic engineering firm, which was situated on Southgate Street. I had no family or anything in this country.
He is the chairperson for the Black Elders. He is responsible for the running of the organization. Very few people in this town are really capable of doing things, and he's one of them.
He strikes me as a person who would give anything. He give up his finances, give up his time, and he's constantly doing that. And I think he does that a lot in the community.
He likes to get precisely into the groove. If you've got a meeting, he likes to be precise.
Ask him to do anything for you. He will make every endeavor to do it for you.
But he's a loving man. We care for him and we love him.
This is the place where he is shining his light.
Community spirit is really, really important to me. I do love seeing people happy.
I run a project called the Butterfly Garden, and the Butterfly Garden has been in existence since 2002, so it's done 14 years now. And it's the charity that is an accident, really. I was hijacked when 6 kids came to the site to see me and to speak to me as a gardener. They asked me if I could talk to them about my job as a gardener because they were thinking about setting some time aside to do a garden at school. And 10 minutes later, I knew that I wanted to be with them and invited them back. A week later, they were here on the site. We were doing some gardening, and the next morning somebody phoned and said, "We've been hearing about your project." And from that moment on, I was a lost cause. I've been quite incapable of saying no to anybody that turned up at the door to ask if they could be part of the project that never was. And today I have 221 people on register, and I have people of every age with every condition, and to this day we pride ourselves on the fact that the provision is still totally free. It's been and continues to be an absolute delight.
My interest in local history started when I was at the Crip School, and I realised then that there was a building or a structure in Gloucester which literally represented every single period of English history. This then tended to fascinate me a little bit, and even to a point where when I was about 14, I went on an archaeological dig, which was on what became the extension for the Bon Marché, which is now Debenhams. Must have been suffered, I think. At 14 you can't be that much good, but I was so fascinated by it.
He was already offering tours of the city in the 1960s. He was one of the founders of the Civic Trust in 1972, one of the founders of the Gloucester and District Archaeological Research Team. He did surveys on buildings that were threatened by demolition. He wrote the fantastic and best history of Gloucester, Historic Gloucester.
When you look around the town with the cathedral, the docks, etc., and all the other buildings we've got a wonderful resource here, not only in terms of education, but in general tourism terms.
Everybody tells me that Phil's now retired, in inverted commas. I hope he never retires, because this is a story that will run, and Phil is right at the centre of it.
The Taylor of Gloucester closed. It was part of Warnes, the publishers, who were owned then by Penguin Books. Penguin Books weren't interested in the retail side, and they then put the building up for sale. And I thought, this is, you know, a tragedy really. We were able to raise the funds sufficiently enough to purchase the building, and we managed to keep that open 7 days a week.
He has been absolutely amazing, a champion of retail, a champion of shopping and experience, a champion of our city, and we're so lucky to have Ivan still really telling us all what the best things for the city are, and he's almost always right.
Here's somebody for no other reason than he has a real love of the city, who spends his time getting up in the mornings, after work, watering flowers, picking up rubbish, being very much concerned for all the traders and the other businesses and the other people in the city.
He's someone who's hugely positive about the city. You know, there are always times when things happen and you might feel a bit down about it, but Ivan always looks for the positive and gives that positive message out to the media and to anyone that he speaks to.
If you can put a smile on somebody's face, I think that's better than anything else. That's my reward.